Today we're going to be talking about some of the salty reactions to the election, 4B and all that, but also some of the things that I think are underlying that, kind of a devil's advocate argument. So if you're very pro-life, here's the devil's advocate argument against that. Because I like the devil's advocate. I think it's a very interesting mindset. I don't agree with the devil's advocate, but I want to hear what he says. Before that, though, I wrote a book, you guys. Go read my book. It should be fun. It is available on Amazon. There's a link in the description. You can read it on Kindle. It's on Kindle Unlimited, so if you don't want to have to pay for it, but you still want to kind of check it out, you can check it out. And it's also available in paperback, so if you want to have a physical copy, because like some people, I know I get a lot of nostalgia for physical copies of books. I should have brought the physical copy of the book in here so you could look at it, but, you know, I'm in my car, guys, with a thing of salt. But yeah, check out my book. Tell me what you think. Read it, write a review. Let me know what you think. I want to know because I'm already starting on the next book and I want to know, like, just get some feedback for what you guys think. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Which parts did you like? That's going to help inform me when I write the next book. So I want to hear from you. Anyway, that being said, let's move on to the video. All joking aside, seriously, what do you think this is? Like, do you think anyone, seriously, anyone in their right mind is not looking at you right now and saying, you didn't get your way and you're having a temper tantrum? And honestly, I find it kind of insulting that you guys took this whole 4B thing and decided that you should do that. It is 4B, isn't it? Basically, the thing that women in Korea did because a woman in Korea got murdered by a guy because she turned him down for sex. Like, that's kind of hideous. Like, a guy murdered her because she wasn't interested in having sex with him. You guys didn't get your way in an election. By the way, we have one of these every 4 years. So I would think that by this point, if you're a voting adult, you would have an idea that every 4 years this thing happens. And sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. You guys are having a temper tantrum because you lost. Because you didn't get your way. And you're equating that to protests that happened because a woman got murdered because a guy had a temper tantrum when he didn't get his way. You are missing the point in a very big way here, ladies. This is the most childish and embarrassing display. I am genuinely embarrassed for you. That being said, for those of you who are looking for someone to play devil's advocate, let's play some devil's advocate, okay? Number one, all the women who are freaking out because of the abortion issue. As a woman who had an abortion, I feel uniquely qualified to lend my 2 cents to this particular conversation. I wanted to have a baby. My husband and I, we were married. We already had 3 kids. We wanted to go for kid number 4. I got pregnant. I was very excited and very happy. And right away, things just didn't quite seem right with the pregnancy. Something seemed a little off. Something seemed a little wrong. And I kept telling myself it was nothing right up until DNA testing revealed that the baby had trisomy 18. There is no cure for trisomy 18. You can't treat it very well. It is deadly. It will kill you. I, as a parent, do not feel comfortable having my child die and be resuscitated multiple times as an infant just so that I can claim that I kept them alive and made the pro-life choice. I don't feel right with that, okay? Being intubated, being resuscitated, having all these procedures done to him when he's only like 3 months old. If he lives to 3 months, which is highly unlikely. I, as a parent, don't feel happy signing my child up for hospice care. And I understand you have a kid sometimes, your kid gets really, really sick, and you have to make those decisions. But they're not good decisions. I don't think anyone's going to be sitting there saying, oh, hospice for children, great, yeah, wonderful, wonderful, yeah. No, it's bad. It's a bad, bad situation. It was bad, okay? We were in a bad place in our lives. And it wasn't my fault, and it wasn't my husband's fault. And medically, it was a 1 in 3,000 chance that we would end up where we did. But we rolled the unlucky dice and we got an abortion because I looked and I was like, I don't want my son to suffer any more than he absolutely has to. How do we do this in the most humane way that we possibly can? Because my son is going to die. And I can't stop that from happening. And one of the things that made me really, really happy as a woman who had an abortion, who really, really, really needed that abortion for my own sanity's sake, for my family, and most importantly, to prevent my son from suffering unduly because he was dying. One of the things that's made me very happy is I've listened to a few things that some of these politicians have said. Everything that they've said has kind of leaned in the direction of suggesting that if a pregnancy is not viable, if there is something severely medically wrong with a pregnancy, they're not going to prohibit an abortion. Because that's insane. And there are people out there who are that insane, who would say, oh yes, no abortions whatsoever, under any circumstances. Trump himself has come out and said, there will not be a strict nationwide abortion ban. I am hoping that that means that people will be sane about this. Sometimes things go extraordinarily medically wrong with pregnancy because it is a thing that happens inside of a human body. On those occasions, as unfortunate as it might be, sometimes abortion is the best solution. I know people don't want to hear that. I know that doesn't make you happy if you're a pro-life person. But guess what? If someone's dying, there is no pro-life solution to dying. Dying happens. People die. It's bad. We all acknowledge that it's bad. I'm okay right now with the way things are. If that's the bare line they have, it's like, in instances of rape, abortions are available. In instances of incest, where you've got little kids who are being sexually abused. Yeah, no. I think everybody says, okay. Most everybody. Most people. There's some really, really hardcore pro-lifers. You do you, but the rest of us need to live our lives, okay? In cases where the life and health of the mother is severely endangered or compromised, because that does happen. That does happen, okay? There should be reasonable exemptions. However, our country, our beautiful, beautiful country has made a few judgment errors that we are seeing the results of now. There are consequences for actions, right? We all wanted abortion. We wanted it so bad. Okay, we got abortion. What did we do? It's a get out of jail free card. Forget your birth control. No problem. No worries. And I've known people who've worked in abortion clinics doing consultations. And there are girls who make mistakes and they're terrified and they don't know what to do, and that's bad. There are girls who were taking the pill and they thought they were doing it right, but something went wrong, and that's bad. I understand. But we had a party. As a country, women had a freaking party. We flaunted it. We glorified it. And when I say we, let me be clear. You glorified it. You ladies out there who glorified it know who you are. And all the rest of us are sitting there with our jaws on the floor going, oh my God, are you just a horrible person or what? Why are you celebrating this? And so, here's where I play devil's advocate, because I did want to play devil's advocate on here. I think that's important. I see people online who are saying, well, we need to teach our girls how to respect themselves, and then they won't be in positions where they feel like they need to have an abortion. And that is so wholesome and so sweet and so well-meaning and so not gonna work. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, because I was a little girl and I was taught how to respect my body, and I became a stripper, and I was a stripper for 8 years. And I don't think it works the way you guys think it works. And here's why. This is just my thoughts on it. And please tell me how wrong I am in the comments section, by all means. I'm not, if I'm wrong and you can actually give me a logical reason for why I'm wrong, that's fantastic. I love to learn. But this is my thoughts on it. I, was a little girl. Sex only after marriage. That's what I was taught. That's what my parents did. And they told me that was how it was supposed to work out. And I was like, okay, cool. I didn't date until I turned 18. I had no interest in dating until I turned 18. Like, I was looking around at the dating landscape and all these girls were going nuts over these guys who looked like losers to me. And I was like, hey, I am not interested. I will wait until I turn 18 and then I will start dating. So I waited until I turned 18 and I started dating. And part of the problem was, it's not like I grew up in a place where there was a lot of good options for dating. It was very rural. It was very isolated. There wasn't a lot of diversity of dating options available. And a lot of people these days are looking at things like Tinder and saying, well, having too many options is bad, because now people aren't settling down or picking any one option. They're just constantly going through and cycling through. Oh, look, this is pretty. It's kind of like the goldfish effect. Oh, there's a pretty castle. Oh, there's a pretty castle. Oh, there's a pretty castle. It's like, oh, there's a hot dude. Oh, that's a hot dude. Oh, there's a hot dude. So I can understand how that's a problem, but I had the opposite problem. My problem was, there are so few options available. There were the churchy guys who were like, no sex until marriage. And then there were the not churchy guys who were like, I want to have sex with everything that's got legs. And obviously the first thing I did was check out the churchy guys who were like, no sex until marriage. None of them were particularly attractive. So that was not working out for me, the no sex till marriage crowd. And then I started looking into the sex with everything crowd. And that wasn't too good either. The options were not great. But there was a little bit more diversity. There were a little bit more guys over there in the sex with everything crowd. And I mean, I tried dating those guys. Like, I remember the first guy I tried dating, I thought things were going well because I liked him a lot and I was excited to be around him and I was starting to feel feelings, and it was like, okay, this is looking really promising here. This is good, right? And he kissed me. That was cool, right? That's good. I'd never been kissed before. I told him and he seemed really upset about that. Like, oh crap, she's never been kissed before. Ugh. But I mean, I was looking at it like, hey, you know what? I'm doing the dating thing. This is looking good. And then he ghosted on me, and I didn't know why he ghosted on me until I found out that he found this hot blonde chick who would let him raw dog her all the time. And do you know how I know that? Because he accidentally knocked her up and now they got a kid. So yeah, I couldn't compete with that, and I knew I couldn't compete with that. And every fucking man I met in my hometown, everybody, they wanted to have sex with me. Everybody. Old guys, young guys. I had a coworker who was like hanging around my workplace when he wasn't on shift, just trying to talk me up and try to get me to have sex with him. He was like 300 pounds. The man looked like a walking bowling ball. And I was just like, hey, you know, I'm getting a little uncomfortable here. I'm not really too happy having this conversation with you. Wouldn't leave me alone. I lived in a place where there were not many attractive women. And I was 18, which meant I was of legal adult age, and I was actually very attractive as a young woman. I know that's hard for you guys to envision, like looking at me now, especially with the hair. A lot of guys have feelings about the hair. God, I love the hair. Oh my God. You wake up in the morning and it's just like kind of prickly and a little bit Velcro-y, and it's like, this feels good. I do it for me, guys. I know I do it for me. Nobody likes my hair. I like my hair so much. It feels good. Like, this is nice. At the time, though, I was a very attractive young woman. Like, I was healthy, and healthy is attractive. And I was a young woman, and there wasn't a lot of that where I grew up. So I was like this rare thing in an area where there wasn't a lot of that going on. So like every single guy, I'm going to fuck that. Every single guy, I swear to God. I had men who were like 59. I was like 19, and this 59-year-old guy who was supposed to be my teacher, because I was taking a class from him. I won't say which class. He started trying to get me alone. And I remember one time he wanted to hug me, and I'd already told him, look, I'm not interested. He's like, well, let's hug. I was like, I don't want to hug you. He's like, oh, we're friends, right? We're just friends. So friends hug. He hugged me and he pushed his boner into me, like into my body. He's like rubbing his boner up against my body. I'm like 19, virgin, never had sex, really told him like, this is weird. This is freaking me out. Dude was like rubbing his boner up against me like, hey, we need to teach young girls to respect themselves. Huh? Okay, that's going to work out great, you know. There I was, young girl. I'm not going to have sex until it's really somebody I want to be having sex with. And I lived in a place where there wasn't anybody I wanted to be having sex with. There were a couple women. There were a couple women that, you know, I would have really, yeah, but they weren't interested in me. And I tried to be very logical about it, because that's kind of how I relate to the world sometimes. I didn't have sex because I was horny. Okay? Maybe I was a little horny. I mean, I was 18. I was young. I was very healthy at that point in my life. And, you know, when you're young and you're healthy, there's a drive. I'm just saying. But ultimately, the thing that moved me into the I'm going to have sex before marriage camp was the fact that if I wanted better dating options, I need to be given something out. I could not just be like, all right, I'm a plastic wrapped, like saran wrapped little virgin fresh in her package. Somebody marry me and then I can be your wild sex monkey. No. I had to be giving people a little bit of something before they would be interested in spending any like meaningful amount of time with me. Nobody wanted a long-term relationship with a girl who was, you know, not putting out. And so I looked at it. I looked at the lay of the land. I tried to estimate what was the best way for me to get what I wanted, which was a long-term relationship with a man that I actually felt attraction to, which was really damn hard to find. Thank God I found one. But no, I mean, I was looking around and it was like, you know, how am I supposed to find that guy when the dating market is just this bad? How am I supposed to find that guy? Well, I got to go out there and I got to date some people, and I've got to shop around and find somebody that I can build a meaningful relationship with. And the only way to shop around in this little environment that I'm in this teeny tiny fish pond where there aren't many big fish, is to just dive in. And so I had sex with people that I found absolutely repulsive, because I thought that's what you do. That's normal. I'm doing the normal thing. First guy I had sex with, I found him repulsive. But I was doing what you're supposed to do. I was doing normal, right? This is normal. I'm normaling right now. I had nightmares about getting pregnant. But I didn't know a better way to do it. This is how you do it, right? This is what you do, right? And I'm looking at all this right now, all these women who are like, well, we should have access to abortions, hot and cold running abortions. You don't want to get pregnant with the wrong guy. And I don't blame you, because I didn't want to get pregnant with the wrong guy either. But we live in a society right now where women are expected, in most cases, in the vast majority of cases, to have sex with men that they are weighing up and sizing up as potential life partners. So you might not be that into this guy, but you are figuring him out and getting to know him, and you're dangling sex in front of him as a way to get him to come a little bit closer. That's the dating market. Rather than sitting around talking about how we need our hot and cold running abortions because abortions are a good thing, which no, they're not, sweetheart. No, they're not. They are not a good thing. Abortions are bad, okay? Abortions are hard on your body. Abortions don't feel good. Abortions are bad. If you get into a situation where you need an abortion, that's bad. We really need to have a conversation, though, about how women are expected to date in our society, because our society has some issues with sex. And when the stripper is the one telling you that, that's bad, too. Women are expected to be sexually active. It is an expectation in our society. And if we keep on, oh no, it's not really an expectation in our society. What are you talking about? Dude, wake up. Young girls are expected to have premarital sex. When you are looking at the dating market and the most attractive man out there, the one that you want, is saying, yeah, I want to have sex. What are you going to do? When all the attractive guys are having sex and all the losers might not be, but, you know, what do you want? You're going to, dude, the point of dating is to go out there. And this is something I don't think people really understand. The point of dating is to go out there and find the most attractive partner that you can find, zero in on that person, and snag them for yourself. Men do it, women do it. Men have more of a scattershot method. I'm going to get this woman pregnant, this woman pregnant, this woman pregnant, this woman pregnant. But this woman over here, I think I want to keep her. And I'm going to stick around and make sure that the kids that she has with me end up growing up healthy and strong. But if all these other women have my kids too, my genetic material has seen the world, you know. That works great for men because they don't have to go through pregnancy. And I'm talking about this on a biological level. Obviously, now we live in a society where we penalize men for getting women pregnant. And now men are terrified to get women pregnant because all of a sudden, if you get a woman pregnant, the next 18 years of your life, she's going to have you on the line financially. It's really bad. But for women, because of the biological restrictions on our bodies, it's like you can't just go out and fuck around with everybody. You have to find the very best that you can find. You grab that person and you hang on and you hope that you've got them good. How do you do that? Well, if he's expecting sex from you, are you not going to give him what he wants? Oh no, that's just a portion of the society. Not everybody's having premarital sex. How many people? What's the statistics on that? Huh? What percentage of people out there in this world are having premarital sex? And of those people, of those women who feel like it's something that is expected of them in the dating market, how many of those women are privately dreading accidentally getting pregnant with the wrong guy? We don't need to have a conversation about abortion. Quite honestly, abortion's been talked to death. Nobody's willing to budge on it, and it's really annoying. And nobody's willing to have a real honest conversation about abortion, let's be honest. Because every person I talk to out there in the world, well, yeah, abortions in cases where there's been rape or incest, abortions in cases where the mother's life is medically endangered, abortions in cases where the baby's non-viable. Yeah, that makes sense. But we're not having that conversation. We're all like, Team A, Team B, my team needs to win, rah, rah, rah. Nobody's willing to compromise. I get so much money as a person who's an activist, either for or against abortion, that I'm not willing to compromise on a single thing because then my money might get compromised. Let's be honest, it all comes down to the money. We need to be having a conversation in this society about how we handle sex. That's where the problem is. And we're not having that conversation at all. So, all these girls who are all upset about their abortions and I need to have my abortion. You've never had an abortion in your life. You don't even know what an abortion looks like. But, you know, you're all crying and whining and bitching and complaining. Stop having a temper tantrum because it's not particularly mature or attractive. I'm not going to have sex with men while I'm having a temper tantrum. Well, yeah, nobody's going to want to have sex with you either if you're having a temper tantrum. It's not very attractive. But also, the problem is that we expect women to have sex. And then we expect them to magically not have the resultant fruits of that sexual behavior. We expect them to do one thing and then somehow completely reverse course the moment it becomes inconvenient. I can see why women are complaining about that. Who wouldn't? You expect me to do this biological thing with you because sex is a biological thing, but then you expect that biological thing that you expect me to do is just going to terminate the moment it becomes inconvenient for you. It's going to stop. Yes, I had sex, but I didn't get pregnant. How? You want me to have the sex, but you don't want me to have the resultant pregnancy. How? As a society, we seem surprisingly unwilling to have that conversation. How? And maybe the answer is, guys, y'all are going to have to take a little bit of a break from having the sex, and women, you're going to have to take a little bit of a break from having the sex. And the problem with that then becomes men who are attractive are going to keep having sex. Women who are attracted to them are going to keep wanting to have sex with them as a way to lure them in the dating market, because let's face it, the dating market doesn't just cease because we've decided as a society that maybe we should take a step back and talk about this. I'm sorry, I got a biological clock and he's handsome. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. But also there's the married people who don't want to have babies. Everybody seems to think they should just be celibate. And I don't understand that one either. It's like, if you're married, you're going to be doing the thing. I'm married. I probably should not have another child. My body is getting a little worn down. But I'm going to be doing the thing. I mean, eventually I'll hit menopause and then I don't have to worry about it anymore. But, you know, and I mean, and honestly, I don't worry about it now. If all of a sudden we were like surprised with another baby, I'd be like, I love babies. This is awesome. But that's me. I'm not everybody. What are we going to do about all the married people who don't want to have babies? Are we going to talk about that as a society? Are we going to talk about the people who do not want to have kids? Some of them might have very legitimate reasons. Are we going to talk about that? Like, that's the conversation we need to be having, not this whole, oh my God, I can't get abortions the moment I feel like I need to have an abortion. Pro-choice isn't pro-choice, you guys. Pro-choice is, let's just kill all the babies. If pro-choice was actually pro-choice, they'd be offering good choices. But they're not. They're just, let's kill all the babies. It's really frustrating talking to pro-choice. They're like, oh, kill the baby. That's easy. It's like, that's not what pro-choice is supposed to be about. Choice is supposed to be about choice. We're not having choices. We're just killing babies over here. You guys are insane. Nobody likes you. And then you go over to pro-life and it's like, well, you know, miracles can happen. So we're just going to expect every terminally ill baby to become a miracle until they prove otherwise. But at that point, they'll be dead. So there's nothing to worry about anyway, right? That's pretty damn ghoulish too. Forget the abortion debate. Our society has some serious problems when it comes to sex. Can we talk about our unhealthy addiction to sex as a society? Can we talk about our unhealthy views on sex? Can we talk about what's going to happen to people who get married and want to have sex with their partners, but don't want to have a baby? Why? Why don't you want to have a baby? Well, there might be some damn good reasons. Maybe you're not healthy enough to have a baby. That's a good reason not to have a baby. That happens. Some people are not healthy enough to go through a pregnancy. Are we talking about that? No, because it's easier to just bitch and whine about abortion and have temper tantrums and shave your head. Not because you like it, but because you're having a temper tantrum. But that is it. I've had my rant. I'm going to have to pare this thing down. I've been going on for a while. I hope you guys are all in great health. I hope you guys are all doing well. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Oh, neighbor's cat is here. Oh, she's so pretty. That's cute. Hey, lady. She doesn't see me. She doesn't know I'm here. She kills rats. Like, we live next to the woods, so the rats will like come in from the woods during the cold season. They'll try to live in our house, and she kills them. So I'm really grateful that she's outside hunting all the time. Pretty girl. Let's see if I can get the camera trained on her. So please forgive the mess. I am in the middle of building this new office for my husband. And so I have been like, I took everything out of our storage room. I tore the entire storage room to pieces. I'm going to post a video about that someday because I've been filming the process, like the progress we've been making. It looks like we're hoarders, and I swear we're not. I've just completely torn apart our home and doing a little bit of renovation, but she's so pretty. She's our outdoor mouser. She's not ours. She's the next door neighbor's, but she's such a sweet gal. And she's very shy, so I haven't been able to get her to come over and let me pet her. Her sister, I was able to pet, but then her sister went missing, and so we haven't seen her. Oh,